WWE salty over AEW getting Will Ospreay, Brock Lesnar's WWE return denied, my review of AEW Dynamite, and more. I'm Luke Owen and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Get exclusive bonus videos over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk.
Late last year, AEW announced they had signed Will Ospreay, thought to be the best wrestler on this very planet. He's a former two-time winner of WrestleTalk's Wrestler of the Year, and he's also won awards that matter from people who know more than we do. And he's proved himself again this year by having more Match of the Year candidates than you've had hot dinners. You know, if you like watching Cirque du Soleil. But it wasn't just All Elite Wrestling that had interest in bringing in Will Ospreay. In arguably their hottest period since the Attitude Era, Triple H reportedly wanted to sign a lot of big names once his hiring freeze had been lifted. This included the likes of Mercedes Moné and Kazuchika Okada, who both signed with AEW, but he did land Julia Delta and Stephanie Vaquer. And Will Ospreay was one of the names he reportedly really wanted. So much so that when Will signed with AEW, Triple H did an interview ahead of WrestleMania 40 where he alluded to Ospreay picking the competition, saying that some wrestlers were afraid of the WWE grind. Will shot back at this on an episode of Dynamite. And according to Ibu, a wrestle purist, Triple H was really gutted about not getting Will Ospreay to sign with WWE. He said he thinks Will Ospreay is a tremendous wrestler and he's salty that he didn't get him. The grind comments was just him venting. He wanted Will. He knows how great Will is and he didn't get him and he is really upset about it. In the end, it was reported that Will just got a better offer from AEW, more money for less dates. Ibu added, I spoke to someone in WWE at the time and was like, well then, why didn't they pay him more? And I was told it wasn't Hunter's call how much money he was going to be offered and his hands were tied in that way. Maybe he could just bring back Brock Lesnar. I'm sure there's no moral questions about that. There had been rumors and reports that WWE would consider bringing Brock Lesnar back to WWE despite being tied to the Janelle Grant lawsuit against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis and WWE, which accuses McMahon of sexual assault and sex trafficking. This became a big talking point following this week's Monday Night Raw, where both Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes made references to beasts, Cody's being a direct reference to Brock Lesnar. WrestleVotes noted on their backstage pass, I'll give you a short answer, yes, when asked if WWE were planning on bringing Brock back. But Fightful Select are saying the complete opposite. Sean Ross Sapp writes that was denied within the company on a high level, with one source saying there are no creative plans in place for Lesnar, and if conversations have occurred, we've not been briefed on that. SRS adds that WWE spent a lot of money to get Lesnar removed as a playable character in WWE 2K24, and that Lesnar is among a couple of other names that were not to be mentioned on WWE over the last number of months. He adds one source in creative told us that they haven't heard any updates regarding Lesnar in months, with another saying they'd be surprised if Lesnar was brought back in the middle of a federal investigation. Someone who is in creative plans, however, is CM Punk, who announced following Bad Blood that he'll be taking some time off to sell the devastation of Hell in a Cell, which is wrestling speak for I don't really want to work the Saudi show. He won't be gone for long though, as Ibu of WrestlePurist noted that Punk vs Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship is a planned Survivor Series match. Before we get into the AEW Dynamite review, here's a word from this episode's sponsor.
Hacking. Yes. I'm gonna hack into the mainframe. Damn, what's this? Some kind of firewall. I'll hack my way through. And wait, it's not working. No. Stupid sexy Luke, always getting in my way.
Hey Luke, what's up?
Oh, I'm just trying to hack into the WrestleTalk YouTube channel. I've forgotten my password.
Why don't you just click forgot my password?
You would say that. You always say that. Only a baby would say that.
I'm not a baby. Why do people keep saying that I'm a baby?
Then why are you holding a baby phone, baby?
Oh, I knew this wasn't my phone.
See? Told you, you big baby.
You're the real baby. You haven't even realised that the reason you can't hack in is because we use Surfshark.
Surfshark?
Yes, Surfshark. You can protect your online privacy, watch content from across the world, and stop pesky hackers from hacking into your mainframe with Surfshark VPN. Secure your privacy with Surfshark with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you can try it at no risk. Enter coupon code WrestleTalk for 4 months extra at surfshark.deals/WrestleTalk. Link in the description.
Wow, thanks, Pete.
Yep, just click forgot your password, you're not going to get anywhere with hacking, and then you can go on the rest of the internet worry-free.
Nah, don't worry. I'm going to continue hacking. I'm going to see how far I can get.
hacking. We have a problem.
But it's Thursday, so you know what that means. It's time for my review of AEW Dynamite, aka the saddest timeline for AEW Dynamite, in about 5 minutes. The show opened in spectacular fashion as Jon Moxley cut a promo about winning the AEW World Championship and his plans for All Elite Wrestling. He brilliantly mixed shoot and work, saying that AEW has a huge roster of people collecting big paychecks but are just holding on to their junk. He said, "I hate what AEW has become. Egos, out of control, celebrating when there's no need to celebrate, dancing and partying when there's no need for dancing and partying. I cannot stand it anymore." He said that he was going to burn this forest down and plant a new one because he's not sentimental for the old one, and he will do what needs to be done. If you want to come with us, you can. It's very simple. You work for me now. This wasn't just a superb promo by Mox, but it was cut together beautifully with the sadness of the closing angle from WrestleDream. As Mox is tearing this company verbally, it's intercut with shots of the AEW roster looking dejected, lost, and beaten. This was so damn cool and created a good through line for the rest of the episode. Excalibur even welcomed us to a new era of AEW, which then opened with a long in-ring promo. Adam Cole, baby, came out to try and, as neatly as possible, tie up the loose ends of this story that was really hurt by injuries and t-shirt sales being too good, which meant the babyface run had to be longer than originally planned. He said he needed to do this without Roddy and the Kingdom, effectively killing Undisputed Kingdom as a group with him as the leader, and boil this down to its most basic form. I hate Max and Max hates me. This feels like the promo they would have done if the original split of the team happened last summer before All In. Max's music hit, but he just appeared on the screen and said that Cole will never get his match. Cole told him that he can run, but he cannot hide. I said on the WrestleDream review that just dropping a lot of the more messier bits of this story might be for the best, and while this feud will never feel as hot as it could have done, this was still a very good promo. Speaking of speaking, Chris Jericho cut a promo looking for a rematch against Mark Briscoe, and Mark Briscoe did more talking, saying that he accepts. It will be Ladder War next week. Announcing a match a week ahead of time? Whatever next? Announcing a match 2 weeks ahead of time? I can't see that happening in this new AEW. We did get some wrestling as FTR beat Big Bill and Brian Keith in a fun little tag match. I particularly enjoyed Big Bill just punching his way out of the Shadow Machine as a reversal. Dax and Cash hit the Shadow Machine on Keith for the win as LFI watched from backstage, and the Outrunners came out to celebrate with FTR in what felt like a collision angle done on Dynamite. Renee interviewed the Acclaimed backstage, who got given cards by MVP to talk about business.
Today, you become a man of business.
I'm looking forward to it, Headmaster.
You will love business.
Mercedes Moné retained her TBS championship against Queen Armanada in a good match that really put over Armanada in defeat, which is the second match I've been able to say that about in the last month or so. This was the only women's match on Dynamite. Please do better. Private Party wanted a rematch against the Bucks, but the Bucks told them that that doesn't work for them, brother. Lol, I see what you did there. And the Elite cut a promo on Kenny Omega, giving him a birthday cake, which then had entrails poured all over it. I don't think he'll want that anymore. But right, so Kenny is for sure coming back soon, right? They then took on Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Rocky Romero in your weekly fun trios match on Dynamite, but this one had bigger story implications as the commentary desk wondered out loud if Orange Cassidy, a day one dude in AEW, can be the guy to step up to Jon Moxley. They were having a great match, which ended when the BCC ran in for the DQ. Now, this would normally get me all hot and bothered, all mad and all that, but this is one of those DQs where it works for the story. This did not feel like a we don't want to be either team finish. This was a finish that was specifically designed for the post-match, which saw the BCC beat up the conglomeration, as well as Top Flight, who ran down for the save, and the Dark Order, who literally shouted at the Elite on the ramp, who were not getting involved, "Why aren't you getting involved?" Jack Perry came out and convinced the Bucks and Okada to come backstage with him and not get into the melee as BCC kicked the living spit out of the good guys. Fox cut another great promo saying that this was just the cost of business. And Daniel Garcia and Private Party eventually ran them off and then had a go at the Elite backstage about being the people who started this company and they're doing nothing about the BCC. Perry then got into Garcia's face and a trios match was announced the next week. This was all awesome. BCC continued to beat up the Dark Order and Top Flight backstage, and the fired up babyfaces cut fantastic promos, Evil Uno in particular. What was also awesome was Shelton Benjamin beating Lio Rush in a superb match. And while all the chatter will be, quite rightly so, just how great Shelton Benjamin was in the final stretch of this match, and hot damn, he was so good in the final stretch of this match, I really want to give Lio Rush his flowers because he was also great here. MVP laid out a challenge for Swerve Strickland, who accepted it in a backstage interview, and that match will take place in 2 weeks' time! What even is this company anymore? Is this 2019? Don Callis had a very fun press conference designed to bury the media that was at the WrestleDream press conference and forgot to ask questions, where he announced that Brian Cage and Lance Archer will be his new tag team, Konosuke Takeshita will defend the International Championship around the world, and Kyle Fletcher wouldn't give an answer as to why he attacked Will Ospreay. This was very fun. And the burying of that press conference continued as Mariah May took a shot at them backstage and begged someone to step up for her title. Anna Jay accepted this challenge, and that will take place at Battle of the Belts. Ricochet also laid out an open challenge for Collision. And the main event saw Christian Cage beat Jay White in an okay match that had a finish that felt like it was mistimed. It felt like Kip Sabian and Hangman Page came down too early and got shown on screen, and then they didn't get involved, so the match just ran another few minutes, and then they did the distraction and interference spot. Page hit the buckshot and Cage picked up the win. It was a bit of a downer ending to what was otherwise a tremendous episode of AEW Dynamite. But what demands are Saudi Arabia making for WWE now? Check out Ollie Davis's WrestleTalk news from yesterday.